Hello, good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is the Bobbi Jo and Sheena show. Two friends having conversations about mindset. So today we were just saying Sheena's been over here on holiday visiting in the States, and she's been here 10 days, 12 days so far. And she's had a lot of firsts. So we were like, what do we talk about today? So today we're just going to talk about some firsts, things that were first for her. We're like, she saw a chipmunk, Alvin and the Chipmunks. We have these chipmunks. They kind of look like a big mouse and they're striped. She saw a hummingbird yesterday. Today she took an outdoor shower here on Cape Cod, and that's how we grow up. Out even when it's cold, you can take hot showers outside. So those are some firsts that are really fun. And so we're like, let's just talk about first. So what is it that you would kind of like a bucket list? And it's like start having, we just talked about awareness yesterday, but like, what's the awareness of what you want and desire? And why do you want it and desire? So it gets you to go like, wow, what are some firsts? I don't even know off the top of my head a first.
You know what struck me is I literally feel like somebody's just taking me out of a little cubicle. And I've been with Bobby Joe last year. We've traveled
Oh yeah.
and then back and forward to America and Dubai and cruises all around the world, blah blah blah. And I literally thought so, but for some reason this time I feel like a little girl. I've stopped my knowing everything,
Mm.
and I actually don't. I realized that I don't know. I think I was so much in the mind rather than being in the heart, and so I'm more aware of everything. Everything seems like just so magical or something right now, and I literally do feel like a little kid, and like I've literally been plucked out of Northern Ireland. I've never traveled anywhere in my life before, and then she's going, "There's a chipmunk. I've never seen a chipmunk. Oh my goodness!" And so the excitement of that. So many times we put in our bucket lists, like, oh, I want £1 million, or I want to do this, that, and that. What I'm finding is just the pleasure of life itself. So I saw a hummingbird for that, Bobby said a hummingbird, and I looked at it, I was like, I've never seen a real live hummingbird. And apparently there's a groundhog here somewhere. And so as my friend says, she goes, well, that wouldn't be a bad day to say Groundhog Day over here. That's
Yeah.
for sure. And honest to goodness, having an outdoor shower. I don't know if you've ever done that before, but also I'd never had a pedicure. Like I didn't even think it was like, oh, what do I need a pedicure for? And so I'm sitting on this chair with this massager thing, massaging me back while somebody's massaging my feet. And I'm like, why have I never done this before? So we tend to live our lives just literally Groundhog Day. I mean, just please take a look at your life and go, I've been doing the same thing for 30 years. There's so much out there. I mean, I remember my mum. My mum didn't want a massage even. All you have to have is Bobby Joe come along
Oh
and
yeah.
do this on your neck. And I swear to goodness, the shiver, she releases something the whole way down. What are we stopping ourselves from seeing because we're so busy doing the same thing
Mhm.
and still asking for something different? But we were just talking yesterday about awareness, and that's like I'm saying that I feel like a little child again. I've dropped all my knowledge. I don't know a lot. All I know is what my heart wants, and it wants love, joy, peace, and nothing else really matters, to be honest, beyond that. And then that brings me beautiful friendships, being supported really well at home with other friends. And I just feel so blessed right now. What have you not seen that you would love to see? I mean, it could be something simple. I don't know, but Joe, is there things that you've done so much, but there's still so much more, isn't there?
And that's it. Well, we tend to think of things we've seen on TV or what other people have done. Like I look at that little, there's something hanging in a window, a hot air balloon. I've done that before too, but we tend to want to do what other people have done sometimes. We don't even think of the magic of maybe a dragonfly. Like sometimes around my house in Alabama, if I hold my finger up just high, the dragonflies will come and land on it. Like when has that ever happened to you? I took a friend once whitewater rafting. Her name is Ashton, and I have this great photo of her. She was swimming in a long pool area of when we raft. You go through rapids, but then there's flat area, and she was floating, and a dragonfly came and just landed right on her nose. And so it's small things like that, the fluttering of a butterfly. So I wanted to ask you though, Sheena, when you say that I had to drop everything I know, I think to some people, like, what does that even mean, drop anything? And what I know, Sheena, is she's a really intelligent woman and she would, corporate America, and I can do this and I'll fix this and I can smart my way out of this. And sometimes it's like, what's all that knowledge about, right? We have so much logic up here in our head that it's so logical. You just need to drop and come from the heart and like follow that, because that's why we're here. We're not here to just keep learning more, studying more. I got another book down. I know science, pi squared. I could repeat it. It's about the authenticity of living a life and what we're doing. And it's about the journey, right?
Mm.
So what is it that you'd really love to do besides just, yeah, what everyone done a cruise, but those small things? Like, do you go pick flowers every day for yourself?
Mm.
That's what Marcy does. She has gardens and gardens outside, and everywhere she goes, she picks flowers when she goes to someone's house. It's those things. I know we're getting off of first things, but like, have you ever cut flowers and brought them to your friend's house? Or do you go by the grocery store? I mean, there's just small things like this that what brings you joy. And that's what we talked about yesterday, like awareness of what brings us happiness so that you can do it again. Maybe making a pie for a friend that's sick. I mean, they can be small things. What have you never done before? It doesn't have to be big things like rafting or riding a Harley or paddle boarding. I mean, Sheena did that the other day. She paddle boarded and went through a lily pads down a river. And we have pictures we should post somewhere. But yeah, it was really beautiful. And those lily pads, you know what the lotus is, right? This flower that's born in the mud and it just comes up and becomes beautiful. I mean, I just love that analogy. Sorry, Sheena. Who's Sheena?
I mean, you asked me about, what is
Yeah.
it about dropping the
Yes.
knowledge? I mean, what I find is that it was, so here comes just a little bit of science, that the left brain tends to be very much thinking, 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 beta vibration. So it's constantly on the go and it's always looking out. But that's actually just the past. The mind can only think in the past. It can only think from its own experience. And we're not allowing for new stuff to come in. And so what I find is that the more that I have slowed down, rather than how quickly can I do things, to slow down and come in more into my right brain, which would be more alpha. So more meditation, more sitting around doing nothing, more sitting looking out the window, more daydreaming. I mean, we were told that was wrong in school, but actually that is your most creative time, and everything's created twice. Remember, it's created once in here and then it shows in the outside world. You cannot get away from that. We think in secret it comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass. And so if we don't get this picture right, then out there, and then we try to fix it out there, but that's already the past. So when we start to slow down, actually that's what the awareness is of, more the beauty of things. And yeah, it's about that slowing down. So I've got nothing else to say. I think that's why I'm so appreciative of all the firsts that I maybe didn't notice before. I went, oh yeah, I've done that. Okay, I've done that. I've done that. I've done that.
Mm.
And I was on to the next thing. But when I saw the hummingbird, I was just like, oh my God. I sat with the image in my mind of the hummingbird. It's just like that. And Bobbi Jo was saying it was like 80 times a second, the wings going. I go,
That's fast. Brrr,
isn't
80
this life?
times. One Mississippi done 80 times.
Yeah, isn't this life amazing? Like
Yes.
it's magical, miracle, just breathing. Who's breathing you now?
Yeah.
Can you
And
think of that?
and I know when she said that, like, stop in the moment, and you're like, I got 4 kids, 3 jobs, you got things going on, but you got to make the time. Because I promise you, you take those 5 minutes just to reset the button, drop in the moment, be present, and feel the breath in, exhale the breath out. And when I tell people that, because I used to be a massage therapist like 33 years ago, people go, and I'm like, that didn't do it. And you don't breathe in your shoulders, people. Okay. So you really want to just pause, let everything go. It's the discipline of doing it. Like so much that we do, we just want to rush to the next thing. But that's why we're at there's so much disease, because we're not at ease. Okay. So it's for your health. And then when you want something, you want a pill to just help you do it and get going. Stop, slow it down, take in the air. Then you'll start to know, what am I having awareness of? That's just my favorite word. Can't get away from it. And then you'll notice the hummingbird. Then you'll maybe notice, oh my gosh, like this pedicure, which I couldn't believe you did corporate America. I feel like you would have had looking fancy all the time. Corporate America, you always have a
Never had my
pedicure.
toes out.
You don't? They wear sandals. That's right, where you're living. So that's off of that. It's like, just don't be busy. Slow it down.
Don't be busy, Lizzie.
Because you're busy, Lizzie, because you're reacting. You're reacting out there to everything at you. And then all you're doing is just causing more energy. But if you can control it, and that's what we coach, that we don't react from the outside in by our 5 senses, what you can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But instead, we pause for the moment. We create our day. How's it going to go? You can feel the affirmation coming out, right? Course energy is going to listen when you start talking to it and taking it by the horns and going, no, this is going to be my day. But what you tend to do is go, oh, I hope I don't get a flat tire. Oh, I hope it doesn't rain. Who cares if it rains? When I used to go whitewater rafting on a sunny day, people would say, what do you do when it rains? And I go, you raft. Even with lightning and this and that. Yeah. And then when we're out there and it's pouring rain sometimes and having fun, and you say to people, it's funny, when on a sunny day, people go, what do you do? And everyone laughs in the boat, because I'm like, aren't you all having a great time? And they're like, yeah. And when do you go outside and play? When do you get to frolic out there in the rain and not worry about your hair or your makeup or whatever, your clothes, that you're just in the moment? And that's what whitewater rafting is. And I've been taking Sheena for her first time. Another first, we're going to be heading up to Maine here in a few days. So as of Saturday, we're going to be on the Kennebec River. And that's what I love, when the rafting is flowing literally with life, the flow of life, right? The river of life. And you have to move out of the obstacles. I don't go trying to go upstream, fighting myself. You go with the flow. So I always love when people use that analogy, because it is so true. But it's about the moment. You're not thinking about breakfast the day before. You're in the moment with the rapids, thinking about it and just looking at the beauty. That's why I loved it. I did it professionally for 15 years, and now I just do it for fun. Maybe that'd be a fun thing to do one day. We get to go. Who gets to come rafting in the Bobbi Jo Sheena show? And we get to go down the river, right? Fun stuff. So I think that's all I have. Try. So what is it? So start having observance. I bet you today you can think of one thing that's so new. Maybe take a new way. I don't know.
Take a new way of looking at stuff. Actually, that's, I mean, everything is perception. We're so used to going, oh, that old thing, but actually, when you can really start to, you can change your perception about absolutely anything. And that's an attitude. Oh, there's another live I think we can do about attitude.
All
I
right.
think I just found another topic. So just yet, for me, all I can ever talk about is, for me, is about slowing down and paying more attention to how I'm feeling, and what I'm where I am in my head before I actually go and do something. And so if I can see it and I just go, what's the outcome I want of this? Well, I want this to happen. Okay, well then I take the action in that place. But that slows me down. And the universe is here to help you. The universe is
Yes.
serving you. Oh my goodness,
Yes.
it's 11:11 in this country at this time.
Mhm.
So the universe is serving you. And when you can start to notice that you're being served, then perhaps we can appreciate everything a little bit more. Just even making your cup of tea. You didn't have to go and get the water. You didn't have to go and, get the electricity. You didn't have to go and get the kettle. You didn't have to make the cup. You didn't have to grow the tea leaves. So think of all the people in the world who are serving you just to have a cup of tea. Like, isn't that a miracle?
Yeah.
And we just go make a cup of tea
Yeah.
and then sit there maybe in a mood. But there's a first, sitting there with your cup of tea and thinking of the 10,000, perhaps 20, perhaps even a million people who made it possible for you to sit there right now and have your cup of tea.
It's hard not to look at Sheena in the camera. Yeah, I'm looking at you. And with that said, yes. See, I like it when we're at our office and our desk. We can write down a couple of notes to think about, and I can not, because I try to just listen to you with two ears and not try to think about what I'm going to say over her at all. I just try to listen, and I think we're just talking about the awareness. I lost it. Oh well, it'll come back to.
First time
Yeah,
first.
first
Try
time.
the cup of tea one, or coffee, or whatever it is that you normally take for granted. Sit with it and recognize how the world served you to even sit on this couch right now.
And the camera that's here, it's all working. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. That it's all working for us. And you're kind of thinking, what does that mean? Like energy, universe, God, whatever your word is, right? It is working for us. But what happens is that you go, oh, that doesn't happen. I've had conversations that are quite frustrating with people. And they're like, that doesn't happen to me. All I have is bad luck. I'm like, that's because energetically, that's what you keep creating and you keep saying it. So if you start, hasn't it ever happened? You're thinking of something and it showed up, or you wanted to say a sweater and you saw it. It's just allow the energy to work for you here. That's the magic of life that people don't. They've structured you like getting on an airplane, or just in a line, right? And that's how they've structured us, with the thinking, and to not think out of the box. And that's what Sheena said there, is that I was the reacting. She takes action in her life instead of reacting to her life. And that's where most of us are getting jammed up. You're driving to work late, the kids, you're just reacting like a ping pong all day long, instead of dropping in the moment, setting the intention, and create your life from the inside out. Start following your first, own your life. That's all I have for you today, folks. Have a blessed day.
Bye. We will be buying soon.